record. And yeah, I think we're ready to go. You ready to go?
Oh, totally.
All right.
Totally ready to go.
Here we go then. It begins. Oh, I don't have the chat up. I probably should have them up.
Does it begin?
Oh, here we go. It starts in 3, 2, 1.
I have a Guinness World Records title for most toothpicks in a beard.
Do I have butt lice? That's a secret I'll never tell.
The Morning Stream. You're soaking in it.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the morning stream. It is Thursday, September 19th, and it is 2019. I'm Scott Johnson. That's Brian Ibbett. Hi, Brian Ibbett.
Hello, Scott. Happy last day. Did we enjoy our palindromic date?
I did.
Range.
Yeah.
Today's the last day of our palindromic dates.
It bums me out a little because I feel like I didn't celebrate
take
it enough.
advantage of it?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, what does one do to take advantage of your palindromic week other than mention it? What do you do?
Sure. Well, this is the last day, but it's also the best day because it's 91919.
Yeah, that's palindromic as hell and back.
And it's Talk Like a Pirate Day. Yar.
Oh, it is today?
Yeah.
Oh, well then just tell me to do an Irish accent, and then I'll do a pirate. Because that's what it turns out.
That's your. So if my Ken Kratz sounds like my no, what is it? My Vince Gilligan sounds like my Star Trek dude.
Star Trek dude.
Gene Roddenberry,
Gene Roddenberry
sounds like my your Irish guy sounds like your pirate guy.
Yeah, basically. I don't know why I do that, but it happens every time. Well, good. It's a holiday I used to claim to hate, but compared to May the 4th be with you, I prefer it.
Right.
I just don't like.
Yeah,
saying
it
May
kind
the
of
4th be with you.
that May the 4th be with you is kind of elevated everything else because it's so horrible.
Yeah, it's so bad.
I'd much rather celebrate, May 23rd when the movie came, or 25th. I'm sorry, when the movie came out. The first movie came out.
Yeah, May the 25th, Star Wars Day. Just call it National Star Wars Day. Because
National
the other thing just sounds like you're slurring your words. May the 4th be with you. It sounds like you can't say force.
Right.
It's
right,
annoying.
Exactly.
It's annoying. Stop doing that, everybody. Get your midichlorians in check. Knock it off.
Be a person, and your name is Anakin.
That's right. Poor Anakin. Hey, he doesn't like sand. So gritty in his feet or whatever he says.
Gets in everything.
You can't get it out of your Jedi underwear.
Sebulba's going to win the race, Anakin. I put all my money on Sebulba.
You do him pretty good. If that movie was any good, it would be a way better reference. You know what I mean? Like people would.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. People would see it more often.
People have been scared away by the Phantom Menace than.
Yeah, it feels about right. Hey, we got these people who keep like writing in, which I love, about things we talk about, because sometimes we just throw stuff out of our butts like we don't know what we're talking about, or we'll talk about a subject we don't have any real expertise in, and so somebody will, pull up to the curb and go, yo, you got that wrong. Here's what's up.
Right.
John G is one of those guys, and this is about self-driving cars, and it's kind of in a response to dude yesterday who says that he never wants to stop driving because he loves the experience of driving. And this guy says, "Hi, Scott. I am one of those people who is not a car person at all. There is no thrill at all to being the one in control of the wheel. I cannot wait until self-driving cars just drive around the city when you need one and press a button on your app or whatever. I cannot wait to be chauffeured all the time, everywhere, and never, ever, ever again have to drive around in circles forever looking for parking. Being able to look out the window on a long drive while my auto drive car is doing 168 miles an hour down the AI-controlled highway sounds like bliss to me. Unfortunately, for the guy who wrote in and is going to have a bad time when we get these, his prediction that we can have both is probably wrong. First of all, the market for owning cars is based on mass consumption of cars that people own. You take that away even a little bit, and the cost of buying a car to own will skyrocket pretty quick. It's true. Like suddenly it becomes a boutique sort of thing. It's like buying vinyl. You're going to pay more.
Yeah.
It says, okay, and then he says, as soon as we start approaching decent saturation of auto-drive vehicles we don't personally own, but taxi us around wherever we want to go, most likely human drivers will be outlawed. We can't have the AI-controlled highway that has the ability to know where everything is around it and be able to know where it will be 1 millisecond in the future continuously goes out the window, and you have a bunch of human drivers on the road with you. That's true. I mean, in theory, that's true. Whether this all happens or not,
totally is.
Yeah.
You can have basically it's like having a clean room where you're doing your science.
Right.
As soon as one germ gets into your clean room, it's not a clean room anymore.
No.
So you can't have a self-driving car world with one guy who's driving around, I'm taking my own car.
It's a germ room after that. That's what that is.
Exactly.
He says, he does say this at the end, though, adding an extra letter to the alphabet, though, I am going to be exactly that angry old man. So he's not into that idea of adding a new letter.
So I think we're going to have, it's obviously not going to happen like all at once. We're not going to say, all right, 2025, starting January 1st, no human drivers on the road. No human drivers. It's all going to be self-driving cars. You're going to push this button. The car is going to show up to your house, pick you up, and take you to the Piggly Wiggly, to the Kroger.
To a Kroger, yeah.
To the Kroger. But it's going to be like, all right, so we've got, 5%? Actually, we've probably got 5% hybrid cars out there right now, right?
Probably.
Would you say that's probably a good?
Probably. I mean, who knows? That seems in my head that sounds low, but then somebody else might say, "Oh, that's not even close to where we're at. This was like more like 1%." But let's say 5 for the argument. That's fine.
Let's say 5%, and let's say we've got maybe 0.5% of self-driving or cars with self-driving ability.
Yeah, some capability or another, sure. Yeah.
Right. So, in a couple of years, it'll probably be 5% with cars that have a self-driving ability and maybe 15% hybrid automobiles or hybrid or all electric automobiles. I mean, this stuff is going to slowly build up to the point where probably in our lifetime, we may see a day when all cars that are on the road have the ability to self-drive, but people still can have that option to go back and forth. And then maybe 20 years down the line from there, it's going to be all self-driving all the time.
I also have this prediction that the rest of the world will get there quicker than we will. And the reason I think that is we tend to do innovative things with initial infrastructure. And then when things change, we dig in and get stubborn about what we already have. So the same thing happens with like copper and phone lines and how slow we were to get up to speed with bandwidth with high speed internet, which we're still kind of behind the crowd on, like in a pretty large percentage way in this country. So it will take longer here to do the stuff we're talking about than anywhere else. I'm almost sure of it. And you're right, it will take forever because we just are stubborn bastards, man. We just dig in and we just don't want to change.
Stubborn, but I think, it's not just the cars, and it's not just the drivers, and it's not just the cars we've got to worry about. There's probably a lot of road infrastructure work that would need to happen to make this a really intelligent, viable solution. Everything from traffic lights that are communicating with vehicles to just the roads themselves and the ability for them to support like a train of self-driving cars that all kind of latch onto each other, go on the same speed.
Yeah, I think that's right. So it'll be a long time. We'll probably not be around when this fully takes hold, but that's fine. That's fine.
Our heads will be in jars. I'm going to 3D print mine right now.
Yeah, but they're going to keep us in some shelf. Like we're not going to be out where we can see stuff. That's going to be the bummer. If Futurama's taught me anything, all the heads and jars are in like a room just stacked in a shelf sort of way, and only the popular ones get out.
They're going to turn us into hood ornaments on the self-driving cars. So we're just basically going to be in the very front of the vehicle going,
and your face like a dog, like with the wind in your face.
Right, exactly.
I'm into it. I'm into your future. Okay, we got another thing.
Perfect.
This is on the genre thing that we played the other day.
This classical music genre.
So we played that clip, and here's what Mrs. Taffy Guy says. On episode 1788, when you played the clip at the end, I was filled with rage. The mom rage when your kid says something 100 times over to annoy you. I was really glad when it finally ended, Mrs. Taffy Guy. Oh, come on. It was okay.
Aw.
Genre. Come on.
Did that bother you, Lois?
Oh.
Lois, did that bother you, Lois?
Lois.
Did that bother you, Lois?
Do it in the
Lois.
Lois. Do it in the Peter voice and then repeat it.
Lois, did that bother you? Lois. Hey, Lois, did that bother Lois?
That's actually
Lois.
a bit they would do on that show. They
It
would
is,
do that.
It
bit.
100% is a bit they do.
Oh, that's so funny to me. That's really good.
Hey, Lois, did that bother you?
Oh, we're not trying to rub it in, Lois. We just think it's funny.
Just ask the fat man.
Yeah, exactly. I want to make you guys smile, so I'm going to play this. Ready? Audio. Here's 6 seconds of things to make you smile. Here you go. Oh, I should give you some setup here. This is Van.
Okay.
He already has his favorite book. He's 30 weeks old. What is that? 7 months old? 8
I saw
months?
the little video of this, which is good because I saw this muted. You said he's 30 weeks?
I think this week was 30
That means
weeks.
He's 12 years old.
12. He's 12 years old, everybody. Congratulations.
Yes.
Bar mitzvah. No, he has this book he loves, and they read it to him every night. I read it to him one night. It's great. But he doesn't understand it yet. Of course, he's too tiny. He doesn't understand any of these things. But when he sees the book,
Sure.
all he has to do is see you hold it up, and this is the sound he makes. See how excited he is?
Aww.
He's jazzed, man. Especially this. If I ever get this excited, I want to get that excited about anything anymore. You know?
That's adorable.
Yeah. But I want
Right, now you need to.
I don't know what
You
that.
need to find that that video of the turtle having an orgasm and play that audio because I think.
Wait, is that what's happening to that turtle? I don't know if that's what's
Yeah, I
happening.
think it is. I think it totally is. Yes.
Hold on. The one that's going, that one.
Yes.
Hold on, turtle. This is gonna.
Brian ruined Scott's grandpa moment.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, here is it. This. Hold on. This turtle's just banging his head against the thing. Here, let's skip ahead here a little. Oh yeah, this is it. He gets up on the shoe. I hate it. I hate it so
Do we need
bad.
to have a new trivia game? Turtlegasm or Van seeing his book?
I should make my daughter listen to this episode. She would laugh her head off.
You know what you should do
What?
is like those videos where you think you're hearing, you're seeing the video of the thing you think you're listening to, and then it switches and then shows you what the sound is that you're actually listening to.
Yeah.
So, like, play the turtle audio over Van,
Yeah.
and then slowly fade it to the turtle.
To the
making that
turtle?
noise.
Oh yeah, it'd be a huge internet
And then
sensation.
just show that to Taylor. And
She would love that. What is with turtles? That is so weird.
Right? I know. Yeah.
I don't like that at all. Maybe the turtles shouldn't make it to the water. Anyway.
A turtle made it to another turtle.
Yeah. The turtle has achieved orgasm.
A turtle has achieved a climax.
Oh, blessed be. I hate that lady. Gosh, I hate her.
Oh, you don't hate her.
I
Come on.
kind of hate her. And now you have the variation on it, which is help the crab eat the turtles.
Right.
That is some twisted
A
business.
crab just ate a stupid turtle.
That stupid turtle was eaten now. It's an odd thing. All right. Sorry, where was I? Oh, okay. Back to life, back to reality. Here's the thing I wanted to mention before we get going into the news today. And Wendy's on today, everybody. Yep. We got a cool topic coming up.
Yay!
She apparently went to a live podcast last night, and I don't know what that means, but she'll explain it. And it's about tribalism and in a positive way. So we'll get to all that later. KFC. So you know they make the chicken there, right?
Yes.
You got the Colonel. You got the 7 spices or whatever it is. Which I don't...
11 herbs and spices that make you crave it fortnightly, jackass.
Right, I forget. Everything I learned, I should have learned from how I axe
From Mike
murdered your
Myers.
mother.
Yeah.
What is it? What's it called? So I married a Max.
So I married an axe murderer.
That's
yeah.
it. Okay. Should never start a
What's
sentence with
this
so.
11 herbs and spices with those wee beady eyes that make you crave it fortnightly, jackass?
Heath, head, move. So anyway, that's such a dumb movie, but he's so good in that one part.
Yeah, he really is.
You know what it's like? It's like Eddie Murphy in not Doctor Doolittle. What's the one where he has the family?
Flubber,
The one where he gets skinny. Or
Nutty
no.
Professor.
Nutty Professor. That's it, Nutty Professor. So he's got all the family, the Hercules, and that.
Yeah. Right.
All of those moments
Crux,
are
the
amazing. They're hilarious. The guys in the barbershop, which are all him, all funny. The movie itself, and that's how I feel like So I Married an Axe Murderer. Everything's funny when the dad's talking. Everything else is kind of whatever.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Yeah, I mean Mike Myers, his beat poetry stuff, and it's funny because I mix some stuff up in there. It's not Tia Carrere in that film. It's oh my God, what was her name? She was such a big thing in the 90s with so many movies all coming out around the same time.
Flambe Williamson. No?
Yes, that's it. Flambe Williamson.
Wait, this is from So I Married an Axe Murderer?
Nancy Travis. Yes.
Oh, Nancy Travis. I remember her, yeah.
She was fantastic, and she
She
had that, that woman next door quality, and she was in everything. 3 Men and a Baby, this Internal Affairs.
Oh yeah, I like
The
her.
Vanishing.
She's
Yes.
great.
She is great.
Ooh,
Yes.
look at her now. She is a lovely woman.
She is. Yes.
She's beautiful, but she's, Hollywood likes to kick you out if you're old and female. They like to do that.
They kick you into cable.
Oh, that's
she's
true.
She's on that Mr. Mercedes show that I think we talked about.
Oh, we should be watching that.
We should be.
Because
and
that's
the
a
Comiskey
Stephen
method she's on.
That's a Stephen King joint, that Mr. Mercedes, that says his mystery his crime novel he made. It doesn't have no supernatural anything in it. Just crime novel business.
Really?
Yeah, it's very good. It's very, very good.
Well, why would I want to read that? I read Stephen King for the supernatural crap.
Yeah.
And the bad endings.
Yeah. Why does it seem like, sorry, I just noticed this also. She was also in a bunch of years of the Last Man Standing thing with Tim the Toolman Taylor, whatever.
Uh-huh.
It seems like everybody's in that show that I look up names for. It's like, oh, who's this person? Oh, like I'm watching that Unbelievable show, and the girl in that is in Last Man Standing. This lady here, she's in Last Man Standing. Everybody's in that. I've never seen it. I don't even know when it's on. Where is it gotten from? Is it any good? I don't know a thing about it.
It's still on. Yeah, I don't know. It's Fox. It's on Fox. I've never seen a single episode of it, but and I want to say, isn't this the one that takes place in Colorado? He works at like the Cabela's or something out here.
Oh, is that how that is? I don't know.
And he's super conservative, and his family's super liberal. Or again, I might be confusing things completely, but
well, he's standing there with a fishing pole, a fish on it, and a vest. Oh, Nancy Travis is like his wife in this. Like that's a major role for her. Okay,
that's a major role.
All right.
And Hector Elizondo is on this, and
it's a bunch of other people we don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, all right. This has been a good experiment. Anyway, what was my point? Where was I going with that? Oh, KFC. We're back to KFC.
KFC. Oh, KFC. Jeez Louise. Wow.
So KFC is testing a new chicken donut sandwich, and I thought this would be a good place to talk about this. So a donut sandwich consisting of a donut and then chicken and then a donut. So the bread, the bun business is a donut, as you can see in that link.
Oh, and I'm looking at the photo, and it's basically those are total Krispy Kreme donuts.
They look like it to me.
Yeah.
do they say, are they Krispy Kreme in here?
No,
they
I don't
sure
see
look
Krispy Kreme
like
mentioned at all, but those look exactly like Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme.
I like that.
Krispy Kreme.
It says, move over, Chick-fil-A and Popeyes. KFC may have taken the battle of chicken to a new level. The fast food chicken joint announced it is testing a fried chicken sandwich with glazed donut as their bun. Customers can choose a chicken and a donut. I'll bet it's kind of the chicken and waffles vibe. Don't you
Yeah,
think?
chicken and waffles. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
sweet and salty stuff goes well together. Chicken and waffles, salted caramel, stuff like that. So, I mean, I can see this being popular. Do you think they're going to run out mysteriously as soon as the popularity,
I mean, it's a good question, right? Like somebody was
Yeah.
saying to me yesterday, they think that the neighbor, I can't remember who told me this. Somebody thinks that the Popeyes thing, and our Popeyes employee can call or email in and confirm this or deny this, but says that it's a big conspiracy. It was just they're faking the shortage to build up interest, and I don't think that's true. You want to sell
No.
chicken sandwiches. You want to make money.
Right.
So if you don't have the
Right.
stuff to
Yes.
sell, what are you doing? Like you have all the PR you need.
Exactly.
You're fine. I think they really are
because
out.
people aren't talking about it anymore, right? And if this was their game, they had a nice little burst of popularity when they didn't have them available.
Yeah.
But now you don't hear anybody talking about them anymore, and it does make me question: do they have them now? Like, can I, now that I'm saying there's no interest, I'm kind of interested. Do they have them now? Are they available?
I would eat one today. I went over there the other day. They were
Yeah.
still out. They didn't have any on Monday. I guess it was that I went by there.
Okay.
So I don't know what they're doing, but I don't think there's no artificial scarcity here because what's the point? You're past you're past your viral moment anyway. You want to sell chicken sandwiches. There's no money being made by going, we're still out. Isn't that
Yep,
cool?
exactly.
No, nobody makes money with that. So anyway,
Right.
here's the thing with this donut deal. A, no, it won't sell out. B,
Right.
it sounds like a bad idea. And C, wait, did I already say C? Fine.
No, you haven't said C.
Oh,
yet.
I said
Yeah,
B.
you're still on B. Still on B.
C, I'm going to eat one. I'm going to get one and talk about it on the show. That's what we're going to do.
Cool.
Yeah.
So PGH Fur in the chat room says they're testing them in Pittsburgh. That's one of the cities that they're testing. They get Pittsburgh and a couple cities in Virginia, Richmond and Norfolk. PGH Fur says, I had one. It's pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel all sticky when you hold it? Because you got to hold that. You got to hold that sticky bun.
See, yeah, exactly. They better serve it with like a burger diaper. Like Red Robin has the burger diaper.
I've never heard it called the burger diaper. That's amazing.
Burger diper.
That's
Yeah,
totally what it is.
It's a paper diaper for your burger so that stuff doesn't fall out of it.
Nailed it. Nailed it. Perfect.
Burger diaper burger from Carl's Jr.
Oh my gosh.
But anyway, that's the way I'd want to eat it. Like, give me some paper between my fingers and the glaze on the donut.
Yeah. I need some protection, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Give me a burger
exactly.
condom. Yeah.
Burger lactic.
Anyway, they let's see, Richmond, Virginia, and Pittsburgh and Norfolk, Virginia are all getting it. Did I almost swear? I almost swore, didn't I?
Almost. I think.
Did I let it right out?
A little careful work in audacity, and
I really did. I said nor and then the F word, didn't I? You know what? For fun,
yeah,
hold on.
It's Norfolk.
I'm gonna pause and I'm gonna go see what I said. I really did. I said nor. Okay.
Almost. I think.
Okay, hold on. Where was it? Richmond, Virginia, and Pittsburgh and Norfolk, Virginia. So the thing is, the podcast people aren't going to hear this, but I'm about to do something terrible. Here you go, people, on the video. And Norfolk, and Norfolk, and Norfolk, and Norfolk. Okay, hold on. I want to even get it. Norfolk. Yeah, there we go.
Tighter.
Yeah, here we go. Norfolk, Norfolk, Norfolk. Well, we got to get the K in there. Norfolk, 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 Norfolk. The closest you're gonna get is as close you're gonna get to hear me F-bomb on a show. That's pretty good. All right, wait, let me go back. Okay,
Is that really somebody's saying that might be actually how you pronounce? I thought it was Norfolk, like with a long O.
I would have said that too, but I don't know. And obviously, I didn't say that. I said it. So did I actually say it right? Which is the ultimate irony here. Did I say it right?
Yeah, you might have actually said it right.
So it's Norfolk.
Well, that was a little bit better. That didn't seem as short U sounding as the previous one.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Are they?
Oh.
They say it's right.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
all
Zoe's
right.
actually saying that's the way you say Norfolk in the UK.
Oh, right, because
I can't bring myself to do it. I can't.
Which is hilarious because Brian can drop an F. I've heard it. He can go.
Oh yeah.
He can let loose. He can drop that F hard.
Started.
Yeah, but for some reason we're all in opposite land.
Only after after 12. There's no F bombs before 12. In my house.
Let me ask you this. Actually, that's a really good question. Just like some people won't drink in the morning, or it's it seems unseemly to do that, or whatever. Are there other things that you're like, I just can't do that in the morning, but the rest of the day is open? Like, do you have anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, like certain foods. I wouldn't do sushi before lunchtime. Like
that
morning
sounds
sushi,
horrible, doesn't it? Doesn't that sound awful?
It does. Yeah, or a steak. Like the places that do like breakfast, eggs and steak, or like even chicken fried steak and eggs. That's that's offered by every single diner you go to.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah. To me, that always seemed like lunch to me a little bit,
Yeah, and a lot of people are saying in the chat room, "Oh, it's great! I love steak and eggs. It's great." But I don't know why a big, thick, juicy steak first thing in the morning doesn't appeal to me.
I kind of agree. Chicken and waffles also feels like lunch. I think what we're saying is don't load up on the meat in the morning is what we're saying. Don't do that.
Right. But a breakfast burrito? Hey, give me a breakfast taco. Tacos, burritos, morning food? Totally fine with this.
Yeah, those are good.
What Leninade says, sushi for breakfast sounds great, light and fresh.
Ugh.
When we were in Japan, I'm trying to remember, there wasn't sushi, but there was, you did get rice with your Japanese breakfast. There was eggs, rice, thick, this great bread, really thick, like sliced white bread that butter, perfect, like baked in there. I can't even think of what that stuff is called, but it is so freaking amazing.
Probably loaded with eggs and stuff in it. Probably.
Yeah. Yes. It's like a Texas toast, but it's Japanese. It doesn't taste like any Texas toast I've ever had here in America, or Texas for that matter.
Or Texas.
Or Texas.
Yeah. I love some Texas toast, but what you're describing sounds amazing.
Yeah, I don't think we had any sort of raw fish with our Japanese breakfast.
Yeah, don't do that in the morning. It's not good in the morning.
No.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah.
I can maybe understand like a leftover Vegas roll in the fridge or something. You're just like, I need something quick before I get on the bus. Like maybe that.
I probably could do that. Yeah.
It's like pizza or something. But how do you feel about, we've never talked about this. How do you feel about breakfast at dinner? Like a big breakfast dinner?
Oh, breakfast with 3 meals a day, I totally fine with.
Same.
Eggs, bacon, all that stuff totally works for me.
Yeah.
Coates from Home brings this thing up. He says, have you all seen that cooking video with the 1-pan egg sandwich? Did you see this?
No. What is this?
Okay. All right.
Pass it over. Give me a link.
Yeah, let's find this link because it's mind-blowing. We got to describe it for the audio listeners too.
All right.
1-pan egg sandwich. This thing is where's the video?
Let's see.
Shoot, I saw Alex Albisu posted this yesterday on YouTube or on Facebook, and I'm not seeing.
Usually the chat room solves this by now.
I know. I'm looking for a video of it, and I can't find one.
That's making me hungry just thinking about it. Because I don't eat till. Oh, did Alex post it on Twitter? We might be able to find it that way.
It is Twitter. Yeah.
I don't eat till 11, so this is making me so hungry now.
Right. I'll describe it while we're looking for somebody to find it.
Yeah.
You take and you get your skillet, you put some butter in the bottom. All right.
Yeah.
Then you whip up your eggs, you drop your eggs into the pan, let them start cooking.
Okay.
So far so good, right? You've got the base of your pan now is full of a layer of scrambled egg.
Sure, makes
then
sense.
You take your 2 pieces of bread, you put them on top of the eggs in the skillet, and you take your fork and you kind of like get some of that egg mixture on top of the bread as well.
Okay.
All right. Let that stuff cook for a few minutes, get nice and firm. Take your spatula, flip the whole thing over so that you've got the 2 pieces of bread now are on the bottom with the eggs cooking on top of them.
Okay.
All right. Let those cook for a minute. You flip over. So now you've got the 2 pieces of bread and kind of the egg in a halo around the bread as well.
Okay.
You flip the part of the eggs that's cooked on top of the bread part on both sides, and then you flip one piece of bread on top of the other. So the egg is now intermingled with the bread, but the bread is on the outside.
Oh.
Here we go. Here's a link. Here's a link.
Yeah, I found it. I saw it in the chat.
You found it. Okay.
Oh my gosh, I'm watching it now. What? This is a great idea.
I know. I want to do this tomorrow.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you just put the pieces of bread like back to back, flip it over.
And this is
Right?
this
Then-
is happening today.
This is your lunch.
I think I might do this for serious. I might do this today for lunch. Kim's out giving plasma this morning. She's so funny. She's like, why do you like doing that? She goes, I don't know. It feels like it's just like one way I can actually help people. Isn't that funny?
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah. But I'm like, well, how do you feel about some stranger walking around with your plasma in him? That's a little weird, isn't it? Anyway.
Nobody ever thinks about that. Like,
no one does.
that guy you pass on the street, he might have your plasma inside him.
I mean, what? You never know. Like, what if you're just walking around, I don't know, at the mall and you bump into somebody? Oh, excuse me, no problem. But that little connection you made, turns out that person's got your plasma from like a year ago pumping through their veins.
Right.
Maybe you saved them. Maybe it was just a, I don't know. Maybe not, but whatever. For some reason, they got you inside of them. Anyway.
So really quickly, back to this egg sandwich thing. The key, right here, and this is the part that is going to take some practice, is the flip over. The flip over of that entire ring of egg and bread together, getting it to completely flip over without folding, without breaking, any of that stuff.
That's the trick.
That's your trick.
That. Does it say how hot?
Everything.
How hot to have it? Like, because that seems important. Like temperature.
I do a medium-high skillet, and it gets the eggs to the point where I can flip the whole thing over without trying it with bread. I haven't tried it with bread, obviously, but but you do a medium hot. So if it's a 1 to 10 kind of setting, I do about 6.5, 7.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And this other stuff, I can't tell in this video, but are there other things in that egg? Looks like he's got some green something, some onions maybe.
Might be some veggies or something in there.
All right, I'm making this.
I would sprinkle a little Parmesan cheese maybe in there, but
JC Calhoun, you're that shocked about my someone else has your plasma thing? Why is he so shocked by that?
I am too. I mean, because what do you care? What's going to happen with the
nothing's going to happen.
That's got your plasma.
Nothing's going to happen, but it's just weird to think that total strangers could bump into each other and forget about plasma. It would be blood or an organ, or let's say you gave let's say, I don't know, I'm trying to think what you donated. You donated a kidney to science or something. And there's somebody.
Sure.
What if you sat down in like a roller coaster in Disneyland and the guy next to you is the one with your kidney, but you never knew? Like, that's a cool thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, it is kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, it's not. I don't mean it in.
What if you knew and he didn't?
Yeah, that's even
cool. Followed him all around Disneyland, watching how he treated your kidney.
It's even weirder, right? Even weirder. But I don't understand why he was so shocked by that.
Another beer? You just had a beer back in Scandinavia. Now you're having a beer here in Epcot's UK.
How much alcohol are you going to strain through my kidney today? I mean, whoops, and then run. I don't know. I find that stuff fascinating.
I want it back.
Yeah.
I'm taking it.
Like, my dad donated his eyes, his organs, I can't remember what all. Basically, full donor, So somebody someplace has probably got my dad's corneas, as far as I know. Which is crazy. Look, Jeannie says in the chat.
Could be somebody that's watching us on the show right now.
That's right. Jeannie says.
Could be watching.
She says the two people's corneas I'm wearing are dead, meaning she had cornea transplants as well. See, that's just an interesting thing.
So they're not even. They're two separate corneas from. I mean, they're corneas from two separate people. They're not even like. They didn't even pull the two corneas from the same person.
Right. Isn't that crazy? I know. And then look at Ashley. She's got a dead person's tendon in her right knee. I'm not saying there's anything weird about it. Like, it's great. I'm saying if you think about it, if you could run into the person that you had the thing from, it would just be a crazy moment that you would probably never know. Yeah. Anyway, I'm giving all my stuff up, man. When I die, have it all. Take it.
Yeah,
whatever
exactly.
you need.
I'm putting it on Craigslist.
Oh yeah, dude, that'd be great.
Parting it out.
Put it right. Are people still using Craigslist? I heard that thing was almost dead because Facebook Marketplace just killed it. Is that true? I wonder if that's true.
Might be. It's funny you say that. I put something on Facebook Marketplace today. So.
Oh, look at you.
Yes.
What are you selling? You want to say?
It's what I sure. I talked about it a couple weeks ago. The kind of clean up the basement. I found my old PlayStation 3 Eye of Judgment set.
Oh.
And I bought a lot of freaking cards for this thing. It was a really cool idea, right? You have this PSI camera pointed at this playmat, and then these individual trading cards that each had a different character on them, but a little code that the eye would recognize. And when you move the card around, it was like perfect AR, and it would move the creature around, and they'd be like, "Arr!"
It was cool. It was like the Star Wars chess thing and the Millennium Falcon.
100%. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it was a neat idea.
Version of that. So I have the whole thing on there: the game, the stand and the camera, the playmat, and easily a couple hundred cards.
Wow, you really went all in.
I did go all in. I had a blast with that game, but I probably played 10% of those cards. It's like
wow.
You get all into it, and then it's like, oh, why'd I buy all this crap?
Right. Well, you were hoping it was going to be this hot thing, but I'm not shocked by this because it seems totally up your alley, like the neat kind of thing you would be into. It just didn't.
This is before Hearthstone and stuff like that. So
yeah. It was actually, my memory was that I'd never played it, but my memory was people liked it generally. Like it was fun. Mm-hmm. But too bad it didn't go.
Yeah.
Well,
it's too bad it's not compatible with the current PlayStation, or somebody could just say, well, I've got a PS4, I'll just play it in there. It's like, no backwards compatibility.
But you had to have that camera, right? You had a little tower thing.
Yep. The camera, the tower that put it at exactly the right angle. Yep. I think even the playmat. No, I guess the playmat was just there to keep your cards kind of organized as to where they needed to sit.
Yeah.
You need those cards.
Yeah. I hope if I donate, okay, let me think of an organ I have.
Back to the organ donation?
Yeah, I have I have really clean lungs. I've never smoked anything in my life, like not even one thing. Mm-hmm. So the worst I could say is that I was in a concert once where I was breathing in a lot of pot because everybody around me was smoking. So probably pretty clean lungs. Let's say somebody takes my lungs or my liver. I've never drank, so I don't have, I'm not like, my liver's not like some kind of thing, and I don't have any diseases that come genetically. So let's say somebody
near mint liver, only experienced alcohol once in Mexico, and we're not even 100% sure of that.
What I hope is, here's what I hope, and I don't know if this is even possible. Now I'm starting to have all these questions. If someone takes my liver, can they put it in a lady, or does it have to be another dude? Do you know if there's a difference?
Oh, I think your liver, I believe, is unisex.
Okay.
I believe all your organs, save one, are probably unisex.
Well, even those, you can cut those up nice. You can do all sorts of fun.
Yeah, but I think
craft work on them.
Kidney, pancreas, gallbladder, lungs. I think heart. All that stuff is unisex.
So what? Pancreas. That's interesting. How come somebody can't just give it pancreas to what's his name?
To Alex Trebek.
Alex Trebek. How come he can't just do that?
Probably because the cancer's probably spread out to lymph nodes and stuff like that. They've got to kind of treat.
It's a different area. It's a different genre of medical expertise.
That's right.
All right, yes. Let's do some quick news, and that all starts with this theme right here.
This is your radio newscaster with another exclusive, sensational summary of world and local events.
It is the news, and it's brought to you by
Rock Runners Incorporated, coming soon. Check it out at frogpants.com/rockrunners.
Yeah, it's up there now. You can go take a look at it. It is... I should have put a link here so I could easily pull it up on the screen, but I won't. Anyway, there's pictures of the cards. I actually have them right here. Whole deck of them. And we are really close, folks. Oh, green screen.
Look at that. Oops.
It's all green screeny.
Near mint deck of cards, missing one.
Some people have asked how many cards are there in this thing. There are a total of 63 cards that are playable, plus 5 that are token cards for when you have won, because you play 5 rounds. But there are 63 cards in a deck. And it comes in a great big box, like a thicker box than you're used to. Oh man, the green screen thing's messing this up. But anyway.
Oh sure, because it's a green box.
Yeah. So you put those in there.
Didn't think about that now, did you?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. And then
Can't promote it on any of your shows because the box vanishes.
but it's ooh, shoot. Anyway, we're getting real close. Keep your eye on the prize over there. You can find all those details again at frogpants.com/rockrunners. And there's some explanation, although later today I'm going to try to put up some like actual rules and how it's played. We'll do some videos soon. We're going to kickstart it. We're going to do all kinds of stuff. So watch for that. All right. A Boy Scout leader sang Hakuna Matata naked in front of his troop. This seems bad.
Yeah.
Seems like
what
a bad idea.
Terrible phrase.
Hakuna Matata, put your pants on, please. All right, here it is. An affidavit alleging that a former Boy Scout leader in New York City had sung and danced naked in a locker room full of boys will be included in a pending $320 million lawsuit against the organization. According to NBC News, parents of two boys in Troop 95 had filed the multi-million-dollar lawsuit in March of 2017, where they accused the Boy Scouts of America of being grossly negligent, careless, and reckless in their ownership, management, control, care, and maintenance of the troop. Let's see. A mother who filed lawsuit cites this 2012 incident where a nude Michael Kelsey, had sung Hakuna Matata in front of her son and other children in a Millbrook locker room after an evening swim. The mother who recently spoke with NBC signed it and says alleging that Kelsey's hips were gyrating and penis swinging about as he sang the Lion King song.
It means you're on a list for the rest of your days.
There's no clemency. Yeah, we could make a whole song.
Yeah, that's right.
Mother, let's see. Let's see here. How do you protect your children from predators? Blah, blah, blah. Screw that. Okay. I don't mean literally say screw how to protect your kids. I'm saying I'm skipping down the article. The Scout's mother said she complained to Den Mother about Kelsey's behavior and received a startling response from troop leader Richard Robbins. He basically told me that he talked to the other boys and they didn't see or hear anything. He said maybe her son misunderstood what he saw. And then she says, my son misunderstood a naked man singing Hakuna Matata?
Well, clearly he was actually singing The Circle of Life.
Yeah, this is all true. The problem is this guy's also a pedophile molester guy, and so he's been doing all kinds of other stuff in the intervening years, and now it looks like they're going to probably get about $320 million out of the BSA. Good luck, BSA. You really put the BS in a... Wait, what? Don't know what that means.
Nicely done.
All right, we'll do this story. All right. I was going to skip down here.
Oh.
The police, they'll do our final story today because it's a good one.
Of course, this one, yeah.
Let's stay on the subject of the human male anatomy.
I'm gonna sit back and let you take this second word. I'm just gonna relax and
yeah.
You're putting your penis in a toaster. You're putting your penis in a vise. You're putting your penis in a wrench.
Yeah, this is that was not you saying that just now. That was an old file, but it seems appropriate.
Wow. That's the worst game of Clue ever.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. The police are investigating, although this says the police is investigating. Which should it be? Are or is?
Are, absolutely.
Yeah, this headline plural. Is bad. Nice job, pulse.ng. It should be are.
Well, Nigeria, it's been translated.
Help me. I'm from the police and I have a lot of money, but I can't get it out of the country. Send me your money. Anyway, they're investigating how a man lost his penis after a handshake. Sunday, this is a person's name. Sunday Ibu Betchikakwu. Sound right?
Close, yeah. I would say Ibu Betchuku.
First name Sunday.
Yeah.
Shook hands with a certain Aneo in Enugu State, southeast of Nigeria, and felt an instant weakness in his genital region. His penis, he would claim moments later, had begun to malfunction, much to his dismay. He felt what he referred to as a shrinkage of his penis or an outright vanishing of the organ. He raised an alarm, and before you could say manhood, Aneo had been beaten to a pulp by a passerby, sympathizers and onlookers alike. What? Had been beaten to a pulp by passers-by, sympathizers, and onlookers alike.
But that's the guy who, not the guy who had the weakness in his genital region, but the guy whose hands he shook, the guy who he shook hands with.
Yes.
Got beaten to a pulp.
Also, I do think this has been translated because it's kind of cracking me up.
Oh, it's been so poorly.
Let's see. They're trying to unravel the mystery surrounding the alleged complaint of feeling of weakness of a male genital organ of a man shortly after his handshake with another man. Unquote. He said, let's see.
If you could look at Exhibit A, I've actually caused a lot of men's penises to shrink when I shook hands with them. They just go right back in their body.
Oh my gosh, dude. I freaking love
All right,
it.
please continue, please.
My limp penis.
All right. It says that they, where are we here? This is basically they repeat themselves the next time. So they just, it's a big mystery. Why does the guy have no wiener now? He felt this weird feeling.
Yeah.
Everybody beat up the guy they shook hands with. And that's pretty much the story. And
Did he actually lose his penis, or did he just lose
He doesn't have it.
use of his function of his penis?
No, it's gone. The story.
Okay.
The story is
It
that
just says that it says that he, would begin to malfunction, much to his dismay. Shrinkage, or there we go, or an outright vanishing of the organ.
yeah, whatever that means. This is some dark voodoo, man. Something weird.
Yeah, I think
going on.
Snopes is probably like, we don't even know what this article is saying, whether or not it's true or valid or not.
Yeah, we can't even speak to it. They'd say. All right. Final story: an armed robber scared off by a little girl who threw a loaf of bread at him. Oh.
Aw.
This is adorable. This is in the UK. An armed robber was scared off by an 11-year-old girl who threw a loaf of bread at him after he pulled out a knife in a Sussex supermarket. The masked man walked into an express supermarket in Worthing. These all sound real, like real places.
Mm-hmm.
Harry
Yeah,
Potter.
so yeah,
It's all
sure.
Harry Potter land to me. Just before 10 p.m. on Monday and demanded that the staff empty the till. But he got more than he bargained for when the girl and her father, who had been shopping at the time, spotted him and took action. In a dramatic encounter captured on the shop's CCTV, the pair threw 2 bottles of squash and a loaf of bread at him. They live in... Yeah.
Before we go any further, a bottle of squash?
Yes! What is that?
What's a bottle? Zoe, help us. What's a bottle of squash?
Help us understand, please. What is a bottle of... It's like Sprite?
Oh, it's a fruit drink. Okay, so it's not it's fruit concentrate. It's not it's like Sunny Delight.
Okay.
It's not...
Oh, there's a link.
it's-
I thought it was going to be like a goopy, like pureed squash or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, apparently it's like a oh man, what was the do you remember when we were kids, you would go to store Weiler's. You'd get Weiler's and it was like Kool-Aid concentrate basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you'd mix 1 part Weiler's with 3 parts water, and so 1 gallon jug of Weiler's would last you for weeks.
Yeah, that was the thing. But I remember that because my mom would get pissed because I would drink it straight. Like I wouldn't mix it.
Oh.
I know.
Oh man.
So she'd get like grape Weilers, and I would pour, not a huge cup, a little cup of the stuff in the raw form, and I would just sip that down all afternoon. I loved that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was stupid, but it was overwhelmingly tasty. I loved
That's
it.
something a kid would do.
Oh yeah, totally. Especially me, man. I was into eating weird things then. I don't eat weird things as much now, except on this show. I eat lots of weird stuff.
except for that donut chicken sandwich I'm gonna eat as soon as it comes to Salt Lake City.
This is all true. It says here, after one last unsuccessful attempt to grab the money from the till, the raider left empty-handed after she threw the loaf of bread at him. Officers praised the pair's bravery and said they need to track down the suspect. No one was harmed, police said. Detective Constable Noel Simmons said, "I cannot praise enough the bravery of the father and the daughter who intervened at this knife-point attempted robbery." Robbery! All right, now we're going to take a break and come back with Wendy here in a minute. Reminder, this entire thing we do here on the show is brought to you by you guys and your support over at patreon.com/TMS. That's patreon.com/TMS. I have in my sweaty little hands here an example of the card we send out every month. On the one side, you got our logo and our name. These are high-quality, well-made Little 4x6 print card units. They're collectible. We've been doing these since the beginning of the Patreon. You can see Hodor and Bran sitting on a giant G. It even says below Hodor and Bran. So fun little Game of Thrones this month. Anyway, you get one of these every month. You get a whole bunch of other stuff, including avatars, digital files, a bunch of dumb clips I always put up on the site, and more coming soon. So check it out if you haven't already. Patreon.com/TMS. We thank everyone who supports us now and who may in the future. All right, Brian, let's do Therapy Thursday.
You can still get tea, don't forget.
Oh, yeah, tea. I forgot. The TMS level is
We're
still
gonna have
hot.
one on, I think, sometime in the next couple weeks to talk about, because, you don't think so much about hot tea in the summertime, but now that it's starting to get to be fall, it's going to be Fall Monday.
Mm-hmm.
We need to start thinking about tea again.
I'm ready for tea. Put it in me.
I'm ready for tea, too.
My body is ready. All right, let's do a musical number. Do you have one?
I do. So Mountain Goat Doug in the chat room sent me an email about these guys. Said, been meaning to send you a submission to Indie in the Middle for a while. One of my good friends is the drummer for a Denver-based rock band called Your Own Medicine. Last June, they released a new song called Dark Skies, which recently showed up in the Billboard Mainstream Rock Indicator charts, the BMRI. It's currently at number 38 and rising. So he reached out to his buddy, the drummer, Bo, and got permission for me to play it on TMS. He sent a screenshot of the permission. If you're in the Denver area, they're going to be playing at Herman's Hideaway. Great place to see a show, by the way. Herman's Hideaway, like dive bar, but the best kind of dive bar. October 18th, you can go see these guys opening for Michael Graves of the Misfits fame.
Nice.
Here is the band, Your Own Medicine. I encourage you to check out the video for this. It's got a total superhero vibe to it. The song is called Dark Skies. It's the brand new single from Your Own Medicine.
I can't believe it. The greatest minds of our galaxy, all dead and gone. Gentlemen, science was just set back 100 years.
They love your chaotic energy until you start twerking at their mom's funeral because you got bored.
This show is part of the frog.
Shit.
Wrong one.
The morning stream. No, you better don't.
All right, we're back, everybody. Welcome back to the program. Now, the big question here when I call Wendy is, will it let me center your video or not? Because adding her will shuffle us around, so we're going to find out.
Oh, can't wait to find out, yeah.
I don't know what happened there. It's real funky. All right, here. Yeah, I messed it up already. Why can't I? Probably needs a reboot because Windows is stupid.
All this on the Windows side of things that it's not giving you that choice?
I'll just put you down.
Weird.
Here. There you go. That'll hold. That'll keep for now. Wendy, are you there? No? Negative? Nay? Here, let me save.
Nay.
I'm going to save and make sure we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, she hasn't answered yet. All right. Well, I know she's good because she texted me this morning. You all set? I'll text her again. All right. As soon as we get her on here, we'll go down that road. Hey, did you get a? Oh, never mind. I'm not gonna ask. I'm supposed to be surprised.
Okay.
Oh, she says stall for a second.
Okay.
All right, let's stall.
We'll vamp a little bit here.
Yeah, let's vamp. Do you have anything to vamp about? What do you have to vamp about?
I can tease something. I can pull a Johnson that.
Oh, do it. Let's hear it.
I've been talking to somebody. Let's say somebody who is a regular on the HBO series Westworld.
Ooh.
About something to do with America's Next Top Podcaster.
Ooh. All right, can I, if I guess, you're not going to say it because we want it to be a surprise. But can I?
Yeah.
I really want to figure this out. Okay, it's someone who's a regular?
Someone who's a regular on that show, yes. That you've seen in many, many episodes.
So an actor on screen.
Correct.
Of female or male persuasion.
One of those.
Okay. It's not that ugly Hemsworth brother, is it?
It's not lesser Hemsworth.
It's not lesser Hemsworth? Okay. Who would this be?
Not lesser Hemsworth.
Oh, you know what I should be doing? I should record this sort of thing on this prep.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on, I'm going to do that. Okay, Brian was just hinting that America's Next Top Podcaster may have some connection to a Westworld regular. And so we're
That's
breaking
right.
in the middle of the show here.
Maybe getting a special guest judge on an upcoming episode of somebody who is it's not Denise Crosby.
No, not
it's
Denise
not Denise Crosby and her action figures.
I still can't believe how that went. That's so weird.
Yes.
Liam, I'm not talking about Liam, you guys. Liam Hemsworth is not the ugly brother. It's the other brother. It's the third one.
It's
y'all don't know who that is.
Luke Hemsworth.
Luke Hemsworth, yeah. He's not ugly. He's just kind of.
No,
he's just
not
normal looking, like us.
It's funny because you put Luke Hemsworth, in a room without any other Hemsworths.
Yeah.
And he's a good looking guy.
Sure, handsome dude.
But unfortunately, you put Luke Hemsworth in a in a room with Chris and Liam, and all of a sudden it's like, oh.
I mean, what are his? I wonder. Did we ever seen the Hemsworth parents? Is that a thing that we could do? Hems.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, sure.
Let's look it up.
Let's see.
Where
Craig Hemsworth. Here you go. Craig Hemsworth is his father.
Okay.
He's not.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's a handsome guy.
He's a handsome guy. He's kind of got like a, I don't know, a Peter Fonda, McLean Stevenson kind of look to him. Like a.
Yeah. His mom's pretty.
Mm-hmm. How's that? That must be his mom right there.
Apparently, they're all very tight. I have read that somewhere. Very close family.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what they were like growing up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, we are a very close family.
That's not a family. This is a family.
Your Australian accent is it's a real humdinger. It's a head scratcher. I don't quite know what to do with it then when I hear it. It's like it's piratey. It's
Right, exactly. It's the only one I can do. Wendy says she's ready for us.
is she ready now? Okay. Let me call her. All right. Well, patrons, we'll be back to you in a minute. All right. That's a fun way to do that.
Totally.
So we're still learning new things all these years later. All right. Apparently, Wendy is available now, so we will add her to the call once again. Here we go. I'll ring her, as they say. Let's bring Brian down to here.
Give her a ring.
Give her a ring. And,
Let's bring her into the call.
Yes. Wendy? No? Maybe? Could be?
Nope.
Sort of?
No.
Might be?
No.
No? Not so much? No? Yeah? Me? Yeah?
My limp, penis.
Whoop. Didn't mean to play that. Was trying to look for a Wendy clip. There we go.
Looked like her thing is turning. Oh, no. It's weird. When I talk, the green outline appears on. Oh, that's my green outline.
Oh, was that you talking?
My video, yeah. I mean, my video had stopped, so I assumed that the one that was on the bottom there was me, or was her, but it's not.
Yeah, it has this. When you add new people, it has this weird effect of freezing your own video, but not for other people.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
So weird. Yeah.
I don't get it. Okay. She's ringing. I don't know. Here, let me pause again. Save that. Try it again.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on. Do not know what is happening with the D's.
Hey.
Oh, there you are.
There
Hi.
we go.
Hi.
Yay.
Hey, sorry about that.
No, you're fine. Busy morning, it sounds like. Everything all right?
Well, busy, and then when you get something in your throat and you can't stop coughing.
Oh, it's the worst. Yeah.
So I just was like, you got to stall, because if you call me right now, you're just going to hear me.
This is a Johnson thing, I swear. We got like weak esophageal something, because I did this. I did this a couple of weeks ago. I ended up with like a what do you call it? A sunflower seed, and for whatever reason, it was just like this jagged little pill, and the freaking thing got caught in my throat, and I couldn't stop coughing for like. I don't know. People in the chat remember this. It was during Core or something. I could not stop. Oh no, it was there. It was my dungeon show on the weekend. I couldn't stop, and I was supposed to be doing the outro of the thing, telling people where to go, here are the websites. and it was horrible. I couldn't breathe. So, welcome to the Johnson family weird thing. We all have it.
Mine was just air or something. I'm
Yeah.
not sure it was a seed. So
Well, that's very odd. Very odd indeed. Okay,
Sorry.
well, if you're listening to this, you can hear it is my sister Wendy. She is a therapist. She comes on the show and does Therapy Thursdays with us every day, or every Thursday, really, since we started this show, which is fantastic. It makes her the longest running guest that we have on the show by far. No one's been here as much. Yep.
Well, good.
Yep.
As it should
well,
be.
good for me.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So here's her. We're going to start her theme today. How about this one?
Elliot needs to jump in the volcano.
There you go. That's I don't remember what the context was, but something about her son jumping in the volcano. Yeah.
I can't argue with that.
Yeah, it's hard too. So Wendy, we messaged back and forth, and you mentioned you went to a thing yesterday and garnered some interesting stuff and thought it might build an interesting topic today about tribalism and some of the things we've touched on before, but maybe a little bit more focused. And I'm super curious about it. So explain where you went and what you learned.
So let me start with, I have a minor in political science. It's a hobby of mine. It always has been.
Yeah.
I've always been really interested in politics. And so, when you're looking for your podcast fix, I found the Political Gab Fest, which is through Slate. It's one of my favorites.
It's good.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good show.
It's great. It's great. And the reason I like it, there's a couple things. They're three very different people, and I enjoy the rapport between the three, and their differences are great. And they're all whip smart. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. So David Plotz is like the grouchy nihilist, and Emily Bazelon is like a genius lawyer, Supreme Court expert, incredible writer. So they're all journalists in the end, but they have some different backgrounds. And then John Dickerson is the other one, and he like geeks out about history, and it cracks me up. He's very funny. Anyway, so they're great. And last night they had their first live, recording in the Twin Cities ever, which was super fun to go to. It was weird because I kept having an urge to fold laundry or to do the dishes.
Really?
Because that's what I do when I listen to that.
Oh, weird.
Okay. Yeah.
It was so associated to like sit still and listen was so weird for me. Anyway, it reminded me of how contextual the brain is and how it likes to be where like it shortcuts and has muscle memory and all the cool stuff that happens. Anyway, it was very clear to me last night as I was listening. Anyway, so I dragged Adam along. He'd never listened to the podcast. He likes politics as much as I do, but he does not imbibe in this podcast like I do.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was a lot of fun. And I had such an interesting experience. I never fangirl about anything. That has never been me. I've never thought a single famous actor was even good looking. Like I don't feel like I'm normal in this regard at all. But I had this experience as I'm walking in. So if you've ever been to Minnesota, it is like everyone looks like they could be a white supremacist.
Oh, man.
But they're probably not. You can't tell because it's just very white generally.
Yeah.
Very like people just look very similar. I don't know how to explain it, but you don't know what's going to come out of someone's mouth because there's no signifiers. They're all just kind of wearing flannel and
you just kind of have to base it completely on how they look. Yeah.
And it's one of the reasons we picked living here, and I love about it is this. It's very purple. It's very diverse in the way they vote. I mean, we've had some elected officials that are incredibly conservative. Do you guys remember Michelle Bachmann?
Oh, yeah. She's a freaking nutcase as far as I'm concerned.
She is a nutcase, and she hails from a nice 30-minute drive east of me, so she's pretty close. And then we had what's his name, Ventura. What's his name?
Oh, Jesse Ventura.
And then we elected the comedian guy. Like we have Ilhan Omar. We got it all, the blend, all the sides, and it's because
that's true. That's interesting.
There's a nice diversity here, and people are pretty politically involved. And I have been to fair after fair, people having, booths for everything, right? So it's an interesting place in the middle of the country. It's kind of unique in that regard. It's to be purple and be in the center here. Anyway, so a lot of fun. So I walk in and first of all, a lot of glasses, like me and my glasses and them and their glasses. And I was like, look at us all with our glasses. We're
like
such
a lot
nerds.
of, like, you mean sight glasses? Like a lot of sight glasses?
Oh, yeah. Like,
just to see.
Like, not like the ones on the end of your nose you take to the opera. Not like that. Like,
right. No, just like your regular. Yeah, I mean, just regular.
Yeah.
It's just weird that there would be a lot of glasses.
A lot. And I think maybe I'm noticing because there are a lot of dark glasses like mine, just like intellectual glasses, anyway, it was funny. And a lot of, khakis and tucked in plaid shirts. So anyway, we're in the arena, and anyone who's in there who is paying money to watch these guys talk obviously loves the show, and then is interesting politically, of course I think that. I'm assuming they're going to be interesting because their conversations are always so interesting. I've often thought when I've listened to them, like, what I wouldn't give to sit down and have a chat with these folks just around a meal. Like, how fun would that be? Because of their banter and the way they talk and the diversity among them. I think they're really fun. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm in this room and I'm thinking, oh, I could probably have a conversation with everyone in here.
Yeah.
And that's a strange thing to say. It's not that I go in other places and think, I can't talk to anyone in here. Mm-hmm. It's more like, this is a weird little piece of tribalism for me. Whereas I don't always feel tribal. I think that's partly why I like to move around a little bit. And I find problems with tribes, and then the tribe is hard for me to want to live in. Yeah. That's a challenge I have. Yeah. Anyway, so it was it was a very interesting experience for me in that regard. And so I geeked out just a little bit. And it was a lot of fun. So it got me thinking about this idea of tribalism and how this is like such an asset. And you guys can speak to the tribes you belong to and kind of what that does for you and what it does for other people. So there's like this very positive side of tribalism that's very crucial. And again, we could rehash like the origins of why tribes are important, and the representation of safety, physical safety, access to goods and services, belonging, and yet as humans, we have a long history of needing an enemy so that our tribe is cohesive. So we have something that we're fighting against. So it's, the Red Scare, or it's the North or the South. I mean, there's always
redcoats, yeah, right.
The redcoats. Right. I mean, is anyone still mad at the British for that? Maybe. I'm sure there's some.
A little bit.
Somebody somewhere is, but I feel like they're pretty marginalized now.
And I think about this translating into sports and how sports have probably saved society in having our experiences with tribalism get sort of projected onto a team playing another team, right? So rivalries. And so, for example, most Minnesotans hate Wisconsin. I'm amazed at the feeling they have because, of course, it's 100% neutral for me. I have no idea. Yeah. And so my son, Abraham, has always been a Packers fan from the time he was a little kid. I don't know why, but he is in Viking country and they do not like the Packers.
Yeah,
so the Packers,
big rivalry.
Yeah,
the Packers just beat the Vikings, and Abe wears his Packers sweatshirt to school.
Tell him. I think he got it from me.
Good idea.
He got it from me. What? Did he know I'm diehard. If I'm picking a team, it's always Packers. Always.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So maybe he's just me. That's what that is.
He's you. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So awkward. Anyway, he goes to school in this sweatshirt, and he's having teachers and administrators and kids just like, how dare you wear that? And they're Minnesota nice, so that it's not really, really a problem, but it's painful. And he's just like, I wouldn't wear it if they didn't win. So he's just calling him out. Anyway, so he's unfortunately a little bit me, which is like a little bit mockery of the tribal stuff that's funny. Right. When it's not your own tribe, exactly. Like you don't feel the full weight of it. Anyway, right. So it's just human. I think it's reduced wars actually to have sports. I'm really serious about that.
Yeah. Really?
Okay, so yeah, I think so.
Interesting.
Soccer is the answer to all the problems.
Do you think there's something to all current research that we have about violent video games is that it actually coincides, or the rise of it coincides with a drop in actual violence with kids in the range that are playing them or whatever. That Is that a similar thing? Like you get your competitive, weird, nascent human desire to go out and plant your flag and be the number one dude, and so you shoot a bunch of fake people, and then you're like, okay, sweet, I'm good now. Like, do you think there's anything to
got
that?
out of my system kind of thing?
Do you think that's the same thing, or is it? I mean, there's obviously a
I
different topic,
do.
but yeah.
I do. If you see a rabid fan without a shirt and paint all over them, and like, the group chanting and like the collective fandom and all of those things, I think it feeds some of that very primal need to defend your tribe, right?
Yeah.
This is why people are so devastated by the loss too, and the reduction in actual violence. I mean, we're actually watching violence is what we're doing. I mean, it's gladiator stuff, but no one's dying right away. They die later of traumatic brain injuries. But it's like our way of it's a form of it. That's just I'm sure there's something to back that up somewhere or disprove me. I don't know, but that's kind of my gut sense of it. And I think it has a powerful place in society that can be a positive and a helpful thing, right? So anyway, that was kind of the beginning of this. And then I want to talk about the dark side of tribalism for a moment. But let me first, before we do that, let me ask you guys about the tribes the subscriptions you have to your tribes. No, but just like where you feel like, these are my people. And also just what it does for you and what good you've seen come out of it. And, kind of your own experience with tribal.
Well,
stuff.
Interesting. Tribal.
Tadpole is a huge one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's our tribe.
But are they a tribe in that I don't feel like we're always having to defend them. I mean, maybe that's not part of the definition of being a tribe, though. Like, the tadpole is like a subset of the larger sort of nerd
tribe,
culture that we have, that we're into. We have a lot of shared interests. We were talking the other day about how this is funny. We were talking about how you probably can't make Revenge of the Nerds now because the nerds won. And so it's no longer a thing. Like, it's not.
Yeah, they write history now.
Yeah, the differences are so stark between that then and now. But yeah, I suppose that's a tribe. I don't feel like I have to defend them much, though. And so
and it's not necessary to. I mean, there are peaceful tribes. There always have been.
Yeah.
So it's just that there's enough similarity, there's there's common purpose, there's a survival technique or survival aspect to it that might be just, I'm not alone, because there's a lot of power. Humans have a lot of health benefits that come from not being alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it doesn't have to be that you're avoiding violence or you have another tadpole out there that you hate.
Right, a rival tadpole.
A rival tadpole.
Diamond crew.
yeah, Jury and his crew. No, you're right. Like those sorts of things can happen. I remember. Okay, so now I'm starting to get it actually, because early in the instance days when I was doing that podcast in the very early days, we had. I'm not going to use names, but we had a group that was basically everything they did was because they were mad at us because they didn't think we were doing it right. So they would do things and be very vocal about it. Like, well, we're doing this because those guys suck and they're not doing it. So we're doing this. And that was going on for a long time. That felt very tribal in the most negative sense. Like, they wanted to.
Were they called the cesspool?
No, they were not called the cesspool. That's pretty good, though. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
They were more like, I don't know how to compare it because now it's sort of dissipated and they're long gone and we're still here, and so I don't know if that's a victory or not, but I do feel slightly tribal about it still, like we persevered and hung in there. When it comes to the Diamond Club, they're more like a loud neighbor up the street that we also kind of like they're
the neighbor that stays up too late and
they drink a lot, and some people in the neighborhood are like, can those guys be quiet? And we're like, oh, they're fine, they're harmless. That's the kind of relationship there. So while it's separate tribes, we're totally in cahoots sometimes, those two tribes.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's a funny thing to try to figure out what this actually means, because I've never really thought about it. When somebody says tribal, I immediately go to the pejorative, like, oh, well, you're tooth and nail.
To have a rival to have a tribe.
Yeah, you're fighting. It's like warriors. You've all got theme gangs and you're all going at it, and and it's not not necessarily that is kind of the vibe I'm getting today, is that doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah, just the group that you feel comfortable in, that you feel has got your back, you've got theirs. You all have common interests. Maybe you don't agree on everything all the time, but basically they're your support and you're theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think family can be the small unit of tribalism, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are warring families. We have lots of that historically. Of it can be tribal just on small scales in negative ways, and then obviously in very positive ways. Right. So, okay, would you say overall, your experience of at least your cohort on the internet is a positive version of tribal?
Like, you mean?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would say so.
Except for that one Nerdtacular where we all got tiki torches and we don't talk about that.
We pretend that didn't happen.
And went after the geek-tacular.
Yeah, the geek-tacular.
Right, exactly.
Those jerks.
Dorktacular or something. Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, it's been very positive. And even when things have come up where we could take a defensive stance against something, or go to a holier than thou position, I feel like we've sort of collectively avoid those things and try to keep it cool, even when I don't know. Sure. It's not like every day we're like, all right, what are the threats out there today?
Who are we gonna take out today? Right.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And some of that is resource based, right? Like when there's a scarcity of a particular resource, that's when people are getting angry.
Yeah.
Right. And I think there's abundance of maybe website and listeners and whatever. Internet's like a whole space that's different than maybe anything else in human history, right? It's water, access to water.
Oh,
it's food,
100%.
it's buffalo, it's whatever.
Yeah, 100%. I can't think of any event or any condition that's more formative, but it's also so granular. Like it used to be the tribes would be a country, like Germany versus the UK. That's your tribes. America, or North versus South, like you said, those were our tribes, and it was a broad definition, even though there's granularity within those definitions, certainly. But today you can literally say, well, my tribe is people who like to vape strawberry flavored vape, and but also only go to Applebee's every day. And you can
it requires a Venn diagram of multiple factors.
And then it's your Facebook group list, really, is what it is. Right?
Well, even if it's not that, you can go start a Discord for everyone that's just like you, and then it's literally possible that even if it's only 10 people, you'll find them. You know what I mean? That's what's different, because we didn't have that kind of granularity when I was growing up, or pre-internet.
Proximity was the first criteria of your tribe. It was
who
was around you, and then it was finding the common interest. Now you can find the common interest without.
And then your enemy was always this strange smelling, strange looking, strange whatever person that wandered into camp, and you went, nope.
Yep. Still is. Apparently you've forgotten what Nerdtacular is like.
Still is, and that is so rooted in our DNA.
Yeah.
So it is zero wonder why we struggle with all the isms, right? With all the differences. And, as the world gets smaller, we got to somehow figure out how we kind of get along. So I'm going to take this. Brian, you answer real quick. Is there anything else you want to say about your experience with tribalism that's positive?
Yeah, I do want positive tribes.
I can't really think of a negative aspect at all to it. I mean, I feel like the tadpole and kind of geek culture as a whole is a really good, comforting tribe to me.
It's been good to us. Yeah, for sure.
Do you think that has anything to do with just like I don't know, an inherent empathy that comes from being not the jock in high school? You know what I'm saying? I just wonder if, now I know it's cool on one hand, but you're still gonna not go to the prom.
We experience so much of isolation and not and being cast out, last to be picked, and that sort of thing, that the last thing we'd want to do is to do it to each other. So I think that's probably
but it's also important to note that I keep going back to this granular change. There can be they're nerds who just love this nerd stuff, but the minute they hear they're casting a female as the next in the next Thor movie as Thor, even though that happened in the comic and they're not paying attention, and they lose their minds and they want to do a boycott of all things Marvel because they're putting a woman in a Thor role. Those exist, and there's your little subset. So they've got a bunch of the stuff we like about our tribe, but then they got this one thing where they're super afraid of women, or somebody's, secretly just can't stand Mexicans, but he sure loves some World of Warcraft when he can get the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's no longer so black and white. It's very different that way. Now, I feel like what we've done is cultivated, if I'm to be so bold as to say, over 12, 14 years of however long I've been doing this, we've cultivated a really great group. And once in a while, someone will come in here that clearly doesn't belong here, and they will quickly make their sort of, their distastefulness known, and then they just kind of go away. You know what I mean? So we sort of have a natural repellent. Like if you're kind of an a-hole, you just don't last here. You just don't get to hang very long. So our tribe is just like this positive, accepting, everybody's allowed in, respect each other kind of thing. But I feel like that's really uncommon now. I feel like most of the time tribalism comes from, well, I don't like your politics, so I'm on this side. Or I don't like your taste in this thing, so I'm on this side. And I don't know why we're where we are. Or that maybe, do you ever wonder, like, even though you think you got the right thing going, you wake up one morning in a cold sweat and go, oh my gosh, what if this is the opposite? Like, I don't even know. I don't know why we're good. I don't know if we're as good as we think we are. I just know that it feels like a good tribe to be in. So I'm not trying to be too esoteric here, but I am.
You're basically saying you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's too good to be true.
You know what? That's probably true, and that's the thing I do generally. It's like, oh, things are going too well. How come? What's wrong? Something's wrong?
Yeah, what's right?
Are you actually a group of murderers? You just haven't all figured it out yet.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
Okay, so thank you for that. I'm going to go into the dark side of this for a second. So one of the roles of David Plotz in the political gabfest is to be the nihilist and to be the negative voice and to like crap on any goodwill that John Dickerson offers. And so it's fun. It's fun to listen to, and I like it. Well, one thing you mentioned last night, so here's a sneak peek because it's not being released till, it's probably released now. But anyway, was he talked about this research paper that has recently come out called A Need for Chaos. The American Political Science Association, it won some prize. And so there's a New York Times article about it. You can read about it, but it's called A Need for Chaos and the Sharing of Hostile Political Rumors in Advanced Democracies. And it's two Danes and an American. And they essentially wanted to figure this out, this sort of who and why people are drawn to chaos. Chaos incitement in particular. Yeah. So they're sending things via social media. They're, perpetuating this or that. They are, like the number one person who does this happens to be the president. He is a chaos inciter. And so, and some of the strategy around that, and this is happening in other countries where sort of right-wing leaders, more demagogues, typically are running countries, is they create some chaos and then they propose that they are the solution to the chaos.
Right. You create a problem, you propose a fix, and then now you're the hero. I'm
perfectly here
right?
to solve it. Right. Yeah. And Africa has been sort of haunted by this type of leader forever. Yeah. So you can't get food, and I'm the one who's going to make that possible. But I make sure none of you feel like you're stable, so you would oust me. You need me to solve your problems. Right. Anyway, so they wanted to look at, like, is this a lot of people who have a need for chaos?
Yeah.
Or, what does this mean? And lots of people spread disinformation. Lots of people share the creepiest thing they can find and be like, this is how the world is. And, what is that about? And is it all the people, some of the people, et cetera? And one of the things they found out, so they surveyed about 5,000 Americans and about 1,300 or so Denmarkians, the Danish. and to ask these questions to see if they're drawn to chaos. So I'm going to ask you guys these questions.
Okay.
And I want you to honestly answer them.
All right.
Number one, I fantasize about a natural disaster wiping out most of humanity, such that a small group of people can start all over.
Oh, do I have to answer this honestly?
No, well, answer it in your heart first.
Okay.
Okay. Number two, I think society should be burned to the ground.
Oh, geez.
Number three, when I think about our political and social institutions, I cannot help thinking, just let it all burn.
Okay.
We cannot fix the problems in our social institutions. We need to tear them down and start over. And then the last one, sometimes I just feel like destroying beautiful things.
The answer is no to all those except for the first one I kind of liked. but the first one
I
is...
can definitely give you an unequivocal no on that last one.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good.
Yes.
I'm not worried.
The other ones,
I'd say no. I'd say no.
Might not be bad.
Yeah. Okay. I wish we were more fluid in our, we could approach things and go, yeah, I don't know if that amendment works anymore in modern society, and instead of acting like,
Right. Or the electoral college.
Yeah, or whatever the thing is, like let's look at it. The problem is these questions are what makes people tribal, right? Like in some ways.
Yeah.
Like you were talking about Trump earlier. I don't mean this I'm not talking about this in a political way, one way or the other, but he is an agent of chaos, and it's got him where he is, and his haters hate it, and his fans love it. They love the trolling. They love it. Mm-hmm. They think it's hilarious. Like right now, the big turmoil is that he may have given state secrets away on a promise he shouldn't have made to some foreign leader we don't know about. That's like the latest kerfuffle yesterday. And it was so bad that somebody in the intelligence committee did a full-on whistleblower complaint, which is so rare. And then his people tried to cover it up, and now it's in the hands of Congress. It's this big mess. On the one hand, other people are screaming, freaking corruption at the highest level, down with the Trump and the bear. And then on the other side, you got going, hey, we're triggering everybody again. Whatever he said that's funny as hell because you are all just flopping all over the place, freaking out about it. It is this total disconnect between those two groups of you're ruining everything and you guys are funny because you're getting trolled again. Like it's this really odd. Not that this hasn't existed, for time immemorial.
AKA high school.
But it was usually things like, Obama's wearing a tan suit. Oh, we should make a huge deal out of this for the next 4 days on our national news channel. Like they seem much smaller. Now it's just like anything he does that people see as wrong, they see as wrong, morally, legally, whatever. But on the other side, they see everything he does as change, that chaos element is they like it.
Yeah.
They like it.
Yeah.
So again, that's all I want to say about the political thing. Back to your question, I never think the whole idea is just to burn everything down. I think the idea is to trim and prune and make prudent decisions as time goes on, as things change, as life changes, as society changes, you make adjustments, you adjust, and it takes a long time. It's a long tail. But just burning it all down is stupid. But your first scenario you designed or said basically sounded like Mad Max, and I love Mad Max, so I'm prone to say yes to that one. So there's
right,
that.
and it's kind of across the spectrum. So what they found is that the need for chaos, people that say yes to these things, correlates really strongly with those who sympathize for Trump, and then also maybe, but less strongly, those who sympathize with Sanders, because he's got some of that on the other side.
Oh, he totally does.
And
Sanders followers
a little
are...
less for the candidates that are more in the middle, right? A little less sympathy for that type of thing. And it feels like it's everyone sometimes, because I think everyone has a little bit of some of that, right? And here's some of the numbers that might be more scary than you think, but 24% agreed that society should be burned down. 40%, that's a lot of people, agreed with the thought that we should let all our political and social institutions burn.
Jeez, that's a lot.
40% also agreed we cannot fix problems in our institutions and we need to tear them down and start over. So you're talking pretty much half.
Wow.
And we're talking Denmark, yo.
Oh, is this? So I was going to ask you, what's the sample?
This isn't just the United States. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a reason, and this is what I find so fascinating, and people are like, what does this have to do with therapy and Thursdays? But I will get to the point of this, is that this idea that each of us might feel this thing, right? This very individual experience. When half of the people can agree with that thought. Now, most people are not like, give me a pitchfork, let's start this. Mm-hmm. So there's a very small number who actually want to do that, right? That is still fringy. Mm-hmm. But there's a famous saying of what used to be the fringe is now the middle of the, and that's what it feels like because of sort of how social media works. So even if you don't believe any of these things, even if something just crosses your path, it will stick in your brain enough and destabilize some things you had faith in before. So this destabilizing is happening to at least half the people to some extent. And I have sympathy for these thoughts. Like, yeah, we should start over. Should we start over? I think we should start over. Yeah. As if I trust us right now to start over. I don't. But this idea of being like, what's actually happening in your own life that leads to this? So you're looking at Denmark and America. They are advanced democracies, right? Yeah. They are some of the wealthiest countries on earth. They have great standards of living in general ways. I mean, Denmark's sometimes the happiest place on earth. So we've got like, what's happening here? You know who should want these things is Zimbabwe, right? Yeah. They should want it all torn and burned to the ground. So why do rich, wealthy, seemingly should be happy countries want to burn everything to the ground? And part of that has to do with expectations of life and where I'm at. Am I seeing personal growth? Am I getting a pay raise? Is my situation better than it was 10 years ago or worse? So you have the freedom to complain about your state of life because you're watching everyone's state get better in theory, right? So social media kind of does that. Yeah. And then also maybe even your neighbors are all doing better, which tends to be why in recessions or the Depression or something like the 9/11 attacks or whatever, there's this commonality of we're all in this together or some vulnerability that is this very tribal nature. So it's weird. It's like progress and power and, convenience actually turns our brain to this. Yeah. So I'm just intrigued by it. I find it really fascinating. I have massive implications for the way democracy is going to go over the next 100 years. But I'm throwing this to everyone individually, like think through that statement and then say your plan, right? And if your plan is tomorrow, I'm getting a gun, I'm not going to do something horrible, then go check yourself into a hospital now. Yeah. But if your thought is like, what does that really mean? That I would just let it all burn. Right. And I think it isn't till our stuff close to us gets touched, right? And that's, again, this tribal thing. So what we actually care about. So, government's terrible, but don't you touch my roads and my mail delivery and my TSA agents, right? Like, I like those things. Yeah. So well, I don't know if anyone says about TSA, but I take your point, sure. That TSA thing is an iffy thing. Or don't take my Medicaid, or don't take my food stamps, or don't take my, all of the things we take for granted. By the way, quick side note on that, I got an email from a TSA agent because we were talking about something with flights or Brian traveling or something. And I forgot to say this on the show. I can't use any names, obviously, but this guy wrote in and basically said, yeah, we know that what we're doing is probably useless. We're just there as a symbol of security. And that the fact, because I think we were talking about how I got a knife through TSA 2 different ways when I went to California one year, and I forgot it was in my bag and it was tucked in a zipper that I don't ever check. So I took a big old, totally would be against TSA rules knives with me on a flight to Anaheim, did the thing in Anaheim, came home, still didn't know it was in my bag, flew home with it, and then was cleaning out my bag and went, what's this? And found the bulk in there, opened it up. Oh my gosh, my freaking big old flip knife's in here. And they didn't stop it. They didn't do anything about it. And that's why he was saying, it's like, yeah, we even know that this is just like a process to make you feel like you're safer or something. And so you're a chaos spreader. That is a perfect example. Kind of, yeah. Of chaos spreading, because now suddenly like, oh no, the institution I'm supposed to rely on isn't reliable. You're totally right. And I'm spreading this idea that this guy confirms it. And now it's in everyone's head, and next time they fly, they're be nervous. Yeah. And people do dumb crap when they're nervous, like get more drunk and start more fights. Have you been reading about just how many more drunk people are badly behaving on airlines? Oh yeah. And so maybe that's not even true. So again, this is a complicated time. And so I just want to throw in what do you do if you are I mean, this has an impact on people's mental health.
Right.
100%.
Right.
It does, because what do you do about it? So I have a couple friends, their answer to this is to literally stop reading any and all news.
Yeah.
And you can say, wow, that's putting your head in the sand.
Yeah.
But what ends up happening is they are living their lives, doing good work, raising happy children. Life is going forward. It's like there's an illusion they don't know is there.
Yeah.
But it's an illusion, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, hey, that's an option.
Maybe.
Obviously, there's other options, but for people like me who I'm a fan of this stuff and it's fun to learn, and
yeah,
you know, I rarely get scared. That's not kind of my jam. But there are sort of the chaos incitement thing has made me nervous more than any other thing. You know, we elected a troll and he trolls. That's what we're getting.
Yeah. And
yet, it's the impact of this sort of concept underneath that he's just soliciting and using. It's not, I mean, he is terrible, but it's not him. He didn't create chaos incitement. And so that makes me nervous, because I do think, you know, this sort of underlying people's belief in each other, the tribe that we do belong to, which is each country we live in, can be pretty scary. And that, you know, anyway. So if this freaks you out totally, you might gotta go talk to someone about it. And I would recommend reducing your listening. For me, listening to really smart people talk about it and be funny about it and go in depth, and that is therapeutic for me.
Yeah, knowledge and information is always good. The big fear these days is that, are you getting actual information, or is it fake? Is it altered? Is it tweaked for a certain point of view or whatever? So I understand that frustration, but yeah, like I was telling Nick the other day, he had a big thing at work he had to deal with. He had to leave at 2:00 in the morning to do this run for this company he works for in a truck, a big old truck, and it was pretty stressed out about it and stuff. And ended up going great, and in the end it was because he was prepared. And he was prepared because he had the right information. He knew where he had to be, what time he had to be there, exact coordinates to the place, who he had to talk to. Like, just being ready, meaning know the information that directly impacts you, is really freeing. And also, I would say this: if you say you might be putting your head in the sand to ignore the news, doesn't that sound nice? Like nice, cool sand on your head? Just put it in there.
No, it's really good for you. And everyone should do it every once in a while. So here, let me tell you a story. I recently was on a flight. I was flagged. They had to come look through my stuff. You want to know why? Because I had a bag of mangoes.
Oh, mangoes, sure.
So for every knife that gets through, there is a bag of mangoes being stopped.
When mangoes are outlawed, only outlaws will have mangoes.
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
Right.
But man, I'll tell you what, it's safety theater, right? I mean, it is maybe an illusion, but it is something. And when it's you and your mangoes were distressing a few people, and it's because it's so much organic material. I had like a bigger bag of it. I was like, okay, well, you guys are doing your job. I'm going to go fly safely on a plane.
Yeah.
I mean, there is some, you know, if we want to break apart our view, this isn't about being ignorant. It's about where you're going to put your spotlight of attention, because the one that grabs it is the distressing story about, oh, can you believe, and the, you know, whatever. But that means you might be missing some of the other stuff. Our brains aren't great at filtering out the negative. They filter out positive. And so some of it might just be your own individual need to focus on different things. Others might need to just take a break and detox, and others, you know, sort of maybe dig a little deeper into what you're really thinking.
Yeah.
Read a little Nietzsche and decide if you really want to, you're just a nihilist, and say it out loud and wear it on your t-shirt. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's a different path for everybody. And I think sometimes, I don't know, it just had me thinking about the good parts of tribes.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe you got to go to your Vikings game and feel your love, or whatever you got to do to sort of feel some safety without having to do the negative part. I think can be really powerful.
I like this pro Minnesota agenda you've got at the moment with the Vikings, and
you've really been assimilated into board culture up there. Yeah.
See, what's funny is I'm not assimilated yet. I'm still in the I appreciate all the things stage, and eventually I'll see the problems. But at the moment, there is just
Yeah, it's a blissful stage.
There's a lot of awesomeness here that is nobody knows about because it's so damn cold.
Yeah, and then look out, Rhode Island or some other state. The Wendy is coming to you next. Right as soon as we hit that.
I'm gonna think you're great for 5 minutes. That's what everyone gets.
Yep, should be good. Should go to Baltimore and go, oh no, and then leave. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure Baltimore's real nice. Also, quick side note about mangoes. Can't eat mangoes. They taste like hairspray, but anything mango flavored, no problem. Figure that one out.
How about this? I hate raw tomatoes, but I love all.
Oh, I'm the same.
Just
I'm the
not
same.
raw.
No raw tomatoes for me unless it's on a burger or something. I can do that. But I can't.
They're disgusting.
They are. But you put them in spaghetti sauce. You put them in salsa. You put them in a million other things, and I'm good. Brian, how do you feel about raw tomato?
I love a good raw tomato. The neighbors have been growing these heirlooms, and they they're giving their extras. You sprinkle. You don't even need to sprinkle salt. They've just got a natural sweetness to them. You put them on a plate, chop them up, boom, boom, boom.
Everyone says this, and I always think you're right. I should try. That sounds so like hipster. I'm gonna do it, and then the texture nearly murders me.
Yeah, there's something with it. I can't explain it. It's because it's a fruit that tastes like a vegetable or something. I
Yes.
don't know. There's something wrong.
Amen. We grew up in the same house. Something.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. Do you like crispy things too? Or we're like
Oh,
mom?
I love give me a burnt anything.
Yeah, burnt.
Carcinogens are my favorite.
Oh yeah, we love carcinogenic.
My favorite flavor is burnt.
Like a burnt. The more the toast. If the toast is leaning toward burnt, give me that one. That's the one I want.
Like a marshmallow that is charred. Amen.
We get it from mom, and she's 80 something, so we got a long way. We'll be fine. The way she eats.
You lost me there, but that's all right.
You don't want that. You don't want a charred marshmallow?
I don't like. No, I can't stand it when somebody's roasting marshmallows and they just jam it into the fire. You're supposed to like keep it above the flame. You find a place where the flames aren't coming up, and you slowly rotate it so it cooks evenly on both sides or on all sides. And then when it's just golden brown, that's when you jam it between the graham
For us growing up, it was put it in the fire, catch it on fire, pull it out, look at it for a second, and then blow it out, and then eat it.
Oh God, look at it! Oh man, enjoy that black.
Yeah. A log flavored
cancer-causing. Yeah.
Enjoy those carcinogens. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a log flavored treat we would always enjoy. Well, this is great. I love this kind of stuff as well, and I hope people will get something out of it. Let us know your thoughts, your feelings. You can send feedback to themorningstream@gmail.com. I hope everybody got their cool bags. I got mine, by the way, from that friend of yours, and.
Oh yeah, I forgot to order those. The little lunchy, reusable lunchy bags.
They're really cool.
You know what's so fun is she's been emailing me. She's getting like just where people are from, and you guys are amazing.
Yeah,
so
a bunch of people got
London, Canada, Hawaii. What? Do you need bags in Hawaii?
Wow.
All over the states. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, wasn't that cool? That was pretty cool, and they are really cool. I gave them to Kim as a gift for her and Van to do little like park trips because she has to watch the baby a lot. And she was super stoked about that because, you got to take little treats and carrots and stuff with a little guy. And it's all good. Oh, you want to hear? Hang on. Do you want to hear your great nephew? How does it work? Let's see.
Yeah.
You want to hear him make a noise? Here, listen to this. This is him being excited about his favorite book. So he's 7 months old and he already has a favorite book. So it reminded me of you because you like books. So here he is. See how excited he gets? He's stoked.
That's so cute.
Now play the turtle.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that turtle. It's a long story. All right.
Like turtles?
No, it's a whole other thing. You ever heard a turtle when they're mating, the sound they make? It's awful.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that little thing they do. It's freaking awful. Anyway, hey, you can follow Wendy on Therapy Thursdays on Twitter. She is there. I've seen her pop in here and there. So check that.
Yeah, especially if you tell me something funny or write to me. I will.
Yeah, if you say
the
something.
The only way I get notifications.
Yeah. You got you have notifications on. That's good to know. All right. Well, I'll include you on more stuff. Anything else you want to mention before we go?
No, 4 Keeps bags. Buy them.
4 Keeps. Go get them.
4 Keeps.
We'll see you later. Have a good week. Oh, now Brian's huge. Hold on.
Whoa!
That'll work for now until I fix this tomorrow.
Extreme close up.
All right. We are done for the most part. I've got to look at the notes. Yeah, we're done. We're out of here. We're
done.
If you're looking to get with us or contact us or do any of that stuff, go to themorningstream@gmail.com. for our email. That's email. frogpants.com/TMS is the website. There is a link there to submit song requests right there on the page. So some people ask. We don't say it very often, but if you're doing a song request from Brian, the link is right there on the page. Just go there and you'll see it. It says request a song. All right.
Easy peasy.
Speaking of which, do you want to play one? Do you have a request to play?
I do. And one real quick programming note. Right now, Guess the Connection tomorrow is on the bubble. We'll see. There's a thing that I need to facilitate with a client, a meeting that I might need to be involved in. And because of that, it's questionable whether or not there will be Guess the Connection tomorrow. So we're going to see. We'll see.
Okay.
All right. Let's get to a request. Now, this one normally I would play. Well, if we were doing a Saturday show, I would have played it then. But we're not doing a Saturday show. Tomorrow, I've got another request that's got to be played on that date. So I'm pushing it back to today. Why all this? Because the song specifically mentions the 21st night of September. Yes, it is not even by request of me. Here is a band called Undercover from their 1992 album, Check Out the Groove. Here's their cover of Earth, Wind, and Fire's September.
Ooh, very nice. All right, you guys, thanks for being here. We'll be back on what's tomorrow? Friday? Yeah, Friday.
Tomorrow. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, TMS PM tomorrow at 3:30 Mountain Time. So check it out then. Instance in the morning. Some other cool stuff coming up later today as well. Thank you all very much, and we will see you then. Whoop, that's quiet. Let's try that again. And we'll see you then. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
Said they'd be here in time for dinner, which means they should be on their way here now.
Oh, okay. All right.
Now we're here now.
That transatlantic accent is so prominent in that old